Hey guys, it's Turok, and today I wanted to do a follow-up video to the last chapter of One Piece, chapter 1072, with all that happened last chapter. I figured I'd follow up like I usually do. So where to start? So we had a lot of interesting stuff happen last chapter. My favorite part of it was what's happening with Bonney and Vegapunk, and what we found out sort of what right now Oda has left us to theorize with Kuma's memory bubble, I'm going to call it right now, in the in that one area of the lab. I found it very interesting that that this seems to imply that oh crap, that's what I wanted to find. That this seems to imply that the way we have understood shit, I gotta follow up the scene about that too. The way we understood Kuma's powers from the what we saw him do in Thriller Bark is not the only way he can use them. In some ways it sounds like Bonney, I'm thinking Bonney in some ways almost understands her powers better than Kuma might. Because in Kuma, when Kuma and Vegapunk too almost seems to have ideas and ways of how to utilize it that, that Kuma may not have even thought of. And trying to ask, and Vegapunk asking Kuma, can you take your power and I guess maybe take it, put it to your head and pull out memories and put it out there. And interestingly though, it seems then that wait, I got my other chair available. You know what, I'm gonna switch back to my other chair. My cat was in it. Hold on, come on. It's interestingly too, it looks like once Vegapunk convinced Kuma that this could be done, Kuma, I'm guessing, must have came back to Vegapunk sometime later after this flashback we saw in this last chapter and asked him to hold on to some memories, or all his memories even, and like it seems like his personality and everything. And on top of that, he asked Kuma had Vegapunk promise him not to tell Bonney this. He knew Bonney would try to find out about this. So also that's interesting. Bonney must have been staying in contact with Kuma for a while, even here. So I wonder if so maybe Bonney. So yeah, I'm gonna go on a lot of tangents here, I guess myself. So maybe hold on. Maybe Bonney. I wonder if Bonney was left. I found the name of the kingdom now. That I'm multitasking a little. I'm trying to pull up this episode. I'm gonna pause momentarily and rewatch this. I guess I gotta see where Kuma used his power on the Straw Hats in a moment. I wonder if Bonney was in charge of was operating in the kingdom while Kuma was a warlord. Kuma, what was it? A while back, it was in a few chapters. No, it was like 4 or 5 chapters ago. We talked about Kuma being pushed out of his kingdom. He became a pirate, joined the revolutionaries, got captured, and became a warlord. I'm paraphrasing this. I should have gone back to look at this too. And so someone would have to be left in charge of their kingdom while this is happening. And there it is. Let's see. Let's jump ahead there. Not display while I'm talking to you. I'll keep that to check out in a little bit. So I'm wondering if at some point here, Kuma, I'm thinking maybe that Kuma was probably staying in contact with Bonney throughout his early tenure, his tenure at, is that tenure? That word? While he was working as a warlord, say like in the earlier half of the story of One Piece at least. So say up until, so I'm thinking like up until close to around where Stab Odie started, up before that, Kuma was staying in contact with Bonney about what he was doing, even though he had to leave and he couldn't go back to the kingdom. And there's something here that changed, and that changed there, and he made a decision to do what he has done here that has Bonney so pissed. And now he, this is probably, I'm thinking, when I'm speculating when Bonney may have took off from her kingdom and brought a crew with her, probably of her own citizens, I'm guessing now, of loyal followers. Maybe those are like some of the guards from a castle or such. And they went with her on to track down where Kuma would be. And they ended up at Sab Odie because that's an island where a lot of government people could be because of the celestial dragons. So there's that. I'm wondering if that's basically... So I'm thinking that maybe Bonney, for a while now, has for over 2 years been searching for Kuma to get to him. So that's my tangent off on that. Where else was I going with this? Oh, crap. My brain is just everywhere. I should have made notes on this. So, yeah, she seemed to understand his... It's interesting, too, that memories are a new thing in here. Actually, I was thinking about how this is interesting that memories are something new in here because of how in Harry Potter, memories are such like an easy thing to... I don't know if it's that easy. It seemed like not Voldemort. It seemed like something that Dumbledore and Harry Potter could do this easily. And maybe he was only one. Maybe that's just a special magic that not many people wanted to do. But maybe it's like more of advanced magic because something where he could pull people's memories out and then he stored them. I wonder if that pensieve was like a rare object, much like the invisibility cloak, the ring, all those 3 Deathly Hollows. If that was something that not many people could use, nonetheless, it seems like memories in here in the One Piece world definitely something that's far rarer. And now that Vegapunk is studying that here in context with using Kuma's powers. But it's still very interesting because we don't know a lot about Kuma's powers other than he seemed to his paw fruit is like the ultimate deflection defensive power, and it mostly can like bounce back stuff or deflect it at least somewhere else. I can't recall if he can always send it to back to the user. I don't recall it doing that. But Bonney, interestingly, like I said a little bit ago, seemed to understand it more in a way where she like knew it wouldn't be just pain anyways. Actually, yeah. My next thing too was I was thinking I'm wondering if the reason Kuma decided to do this is it was been made who was saying that? Probably Tekking, or it's always Tekking probably. That's all I really watch is Tekking. Although so maybe someone else said it. The parallels are being, I saw somewhere where someone was pointing out the parallels that what Kuma is doing now is, sorry, I've just been working out too much this week and now I'm out of breath all the time when I talk. Kuma is having parallels to the robot knight, as I'm calling it, that attacked, the one that's on Egghead Island, that attacked the Marijois 200 years ago. I'm guessing that Kuma has purposely taken away his memories now and somehow this seems like it has some sort of coordination with Vegapunk and Crocodile. Not Crocodile. I did it again. If I say Crocodile in here, I am likely saying Dragon. I am sorry I did that again. I did that several videos ago, like 3-4 months ago. I was talking about Dragon. I think when I was probably the video where Dragon and Kuma were together on the island where Ivankov is, and I think I kept saying Crocodile again. So Dragon, Vegapunk, and Kuma, I suspect, are coordinating something. No, wait, maybe it can't be Dragon, because Dragon doesn't even know Kuma. Dragon was surprised Kuma just left. Maybe Kuma's coordinating this himself instead. Something is going on here. I think at least Kuma then, it seems to be coordinating this plan here himself, that to get back at the Celestial Dragons, where he has decided to wipe his memories temporarily. I think he did it this way. I think there's a reason for him doing this. I'll get to that in a second. He wiped his memories, had himself turn into a cyborg, because he is going to get back at Marijois. He's going to try and destroy the foundation of their power. How he expects to maybe take out admirals, we'll see. Maybe he has a plan for that too. And I don't think he planned to, I think he didn't wipe his memories completely, because he wanted to leave them to his daughter, bequeath them to her, as it were, because he wants her to understand why he did this. Because he is a man, and, technically with something to lose. There's this phrase I'm going for. Because of this, he wants people to understand, particularly his daughter. The only problem I think he didn't foresee is that she would go after Vegapunk and try to force him to unveil her why he has done this. That's something interesting too. I bet. Wait, how did he end up? Oh, that's why. Never mind. I bet that is why. Could that be part of it? How did that work? What I just thought of now is that may be why Kuma, in a way, wanted to be on Marijois, because using whatever technology Vegapunk installed in him, like say some kind of scanning technology, he could map out Marijois and learn the layout of it as much as he can. And so when he comes back there, prepared to destroy it, he knows where he wants to go. He'll probably have like a goal to find a generator room or other stuff like that that's central to the operations of the place. So now he's going to go there and do that. So the only reason he's not was taken away, right, was because it was Sabo and the other officers from the Revolutionary Army saw him there, and they were so disgusted seeing that their former comrade there that they rescued him, correct? But Sabo didn't get to leave with them because he had to retreat, and he ended up in Lucia, if I remember correctly. But that's probably why Kuma did this anyways. So, yeah. Sorry, no, man, this was some stuff came out of this thought. So, what else? I wonder too, it's interesting, actually, just thought of something. I wonder if Kuma's soul, per se, could be in this bubble, because that was the theory here. When we saw this flashback, sorry, I gotta collect my thoughts again. Vegapunk, in this flashback to Kuma in here, brings up a theory, by the way, that's real life. We know from that McDougal guy, physician from a century plus ago, and it's used in his story. It's the theory of a soul leaving the body, and it has weight. So he was thinking about. Let me see if I read that right again. I got that chapter right here. No, he didn't say that. He didn't. I keep thinking that he wanted to have Kuma take his soul out, but he just talked about having the memories taken out. But I'm wondering if Kuma would take this idea the way I'm thinking, a step forward and have his soul. Oh yeah. Oh. I'm thinking his soul. Now I'm postulating whether or not his soul could be in that too. That his whole soul could be in there safe and sound with his memories. Everything that matters outside of your whole body. And I thought that this became really interesting on a multiple levels just now. Also because I think someone in the comment section of Tekking's video just said, what if Big Mom put a soul in Kuma's memories? And I thought that was very interesting too. Like, so I'm going to do a tangent there. That would be interesting if Big Mom could put a soul in this. If this is just memories of Kuma, what if someone could put a soul in there? I think that could become a life of its own and have Kuma's soul in it. But I'm thinking, I have a theory that Kuma's soul could actually be in there too, just in case it gets destroyed. And what could happen instead is if he fails in his mission here, he can have this bubble can inhabit an empty vessel, be it like a one of the old school pacifistas maybe. Something, well, maybe those are too much machine-like. It probably would have to be one of these other Seraphim type models. Maybe the S-Bear. Excuse me. Maybe that thing, yeah. I bet, yeah, I have a strong feeling that Kuma or Vegapunk could have taken this a step forward and done that. That this could be more than just memories, and he wouldn't even tell. Maybe that's why he let me read that promise bit again. But he said it would only serve to hurt her. So maybe that can't be. Maybe because she wouldn't. Well, maybe it would work because Kuma and Vegapunk don't want to tell her Bonney because it would only serve to hurt her. Still, maybe because she wouldn't want him to sacrifice his life to go after the Marijois and the celestial dragons. I would keep his secret from you. He chose this fate himself. Although it was odd too, though, she sensed that thing there, which also, to me at least, feels like lends itself a little bit to this theory of a soul, his soul possibly being in there. I still like this theory. I kind of hope this is something weird or supernatural. So anyways, the two supernatural going on. What if this is, so what if they can set, what if she takes this with her somehow and then Brooke can sense that? I have a theory that, what if, and Brooke can say like, this is more, and he'll be like, oh, I'm going to be like Tekking. I can't reenact Brooke. Yo, that's more than just memories. What is that you got there, Bonney? There's something alive in there, more than just tangible consciousness. Oh, because don't people debate how much a consciousness is similar to a soul? We'll see. I have a feeling, yeah, we'll see on this. So, long story short, Kuma, I think, has sent his body on a mission to go destroy Marijois, and his soul and consciousness, memory, etc. is all in that bubble in case he fails. Well, maybe he can't even get his soul. If his soul can't get out, everything else is in there as some way to try again, to have his knowledge passed on. Although if it was me, I would see if my soul could go out in case and try again somehow. I'm going to go over now the stuff with a bit with Stussy, in the last half of this chapter. And I was going over a bit of this earlier. So Stussy, here. I didn't realize it when they said Miss Buckingham, but Tekking pointed out that that's supposed to be is apparently the clone of Miss Buck. Is it Miss Bakkin? I have it here. I was watching the episode earlier. Miss Bakkin of is that her name is? Let me check a second here. No, I want to pause this again. Yeah, Miss Bakkin, who apparently, so Miss Bakkin, who's the self-proclaimed lover of Edward Newgate. By the way, I'm feeling a little suspicious about that she's not really Weevil's mother. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, so I was looking at her hair, and now I do see the resemblance to her overall. Although her hair is straighter here in the anime, anyways. I'm not sure about I don't have an image here from the manga to see if there's any slight differences. Versus how Stussy's hair, well, it's mostly straight with her bangs, but her hair is kind of curls down as it comes around her ear, from like her ear area down her neck. But apparently this is supposed to be Miss Bakkin, a clone of Miss Bakkin as a young lady. So, where to go with this? Where was I trying to go with this? So this is very interesting that she chose, first of all, to be a test subject for Mads. So I'm wondering what her relationship would have been with them when she was also part of the Rocks Pirates. Because now she's like just only interested in looking for money and looking for the fortune of Edward Newgate. Because she's also, Edward, Whitebeard, that is, of course, and she's doing it through trying to use Weevil and like say that he is the son of can't get this right button right. You are saying that he's the son and that losing my train of thought. So the interesting part here too is that so we know, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. So we know that Whitebeard was part of the Rocks Pirates 40 years ago. They disbanded 38 years ago. Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki. There was a few other ones there that we don't know much about. What was they? Captain John, Wang Ji, those two other guys. And there was Kaido, Big Mom. And they got disbanded. But they were disbanded when their captain was killed. Garp and Roger led an alliance. Probably just them, supposedly. Probably their crews at God Valley. And Shaki was part of that. Apparently part of the Rocks crew as well. And so I had always figured, I think that Miss Bakkin was probably part of Whitebeard's crew, perhaps as some member there, and maybe she had been just interested in him, and he had very little interest in her, or maybe only had a mild relationship with her, but then they broke up, and then they just didn't go anywhere. Because just like looking at her now, she just seems like such a just a mean woman, someone who wouldn't, how to put it, someone who would only be with a man if she could essentially dominate the relationship. Someone that would become henpecked, I think is the right term. So them being in a long-term relationship seems like unlikely to me. But if Stussy is anything to go by, I could see them being in a short-term relationship. So I was speculating that maybe they just were in a relationship for a while, and then that they supposedly had Weevil. I want to go into that in a little bit. And then they, maybe she left But now that actually, I got to start this. Now that we know she was part of the Rocks crew, she might, if there was some kind of relationship together, maybe this relationship. Well, how old is Weevil? We don't know how old Weevil is. So what we know for sure now, though, is that it says that Stussy is a clone of her and she's of the Rocks crew. That means that definitely that Whitebeard and Stussy had a relationship on the Rocks crew. So, but let's say they did have a kid together. I think Weevil looks a lot younger than 38 years old. So they probably would have had if they had him together, that would have been probably years after. But I'm wondering if Stussy then left, not Stussy, sorry. Miss Bakkin left the, when she left Rocks, maybe she joined Mads instead. Actually, don't they show her, let's see, don't they show her as part of, what is that cover story from a couple chapters ago? Hold on, let's find that. Let me go back. There she is. Hold on. Hey, there it is. Remember, it's cold-blooded. Gather for the sake of world and all mankind. Oh, there we go. So wait, if she was part of them, that tells us something right there, actually. I bet she was a scientist. There we go. That's the clue I was thinking of. She probably was a scientist of sorts. Maybe she was part of Rocks. Maybe she helped them do stuff on Rocks, that kind of stuff. Maybe she was the ship doctor. There's something. Maybe she did stuff like that. Maybe she knew medical stuff and stuff like that. Because we don't know. Let's see, what else did Judge do? There's Judge. There's Caesar. We know Queen. I'm thinking maybe I wonder if she may have had like medical stuff, and she could have been the ship's doctor on Rock's crew. And after they disbanded, she joined up with Mads at some point. So when did Mads form again? Let's see. He left Mads. I think Mads got disbanded someplace like, what was it, 33 years ago now? Because that's when, was that, no. Shit. When was, hold on. Let's pause this. I'm trying to remember to get this timeline back. So it was 22 years ago that, wait a minute here. So, what did he say there? Yeah, so this 22 years ago was, again, sounds like when Vegapunk decided to join the world government as be an associate, to work with them, to contract with them, essentially, to be, to work with them as a, well, wait a minute then. Wait a minute, let's do some math here. So Stussy, Miss Bakkin, looks like she is 60-something, 70 years old. Let's see. Oh, I need a calculator here. So Miss Bakkin, yeah, I'm not great at math myself, teching, don't worry. See, 70, let's say she's 75. Let's go 75. 75, 38, no. I'm trying to figure out if this image in here is Miss Bakkin herself or Stussy back then. I'm thinking it's Miss Bakkin in this cover page from, what was that, 2 chapters ago? We'll go back and look. Hold on. 37. Nope, that could have been her. Okay. I think, yeah. So, 22 years ago. So, what's that? 38. Take away. 38, take away, 22, 16, yeah. So, 38 years ago, so I'm thinking, yes, 38 years ago, the Rocks Pirates are disbanded. I'm thinking, I'm going to go with a theory here that, my theory that I'm thinking of in my head, I'm not going to call it headcanon. It's just a theory. It could be, if Oda gives us more information, I'm wrong, and I'll think of something else. That Stussy, because she joined Mads, I think Miss Bakkin joined Mads later, I think. I think the reason she did that is she probably knows medical stuff. She may have been like the ship's doctor for the Rocks pirate. So when Rocks was disbanded 38 years ago, she joined Mads. I think, would have been Mads? At some point she would have joined Mads afterward, because I think that's would have been, I gotta look when it was in active exactly. I know for sure it was active at some point there, because it's disbanded some 22 years ago, because we see in a chapter, this Will of O'Hara chapter about 7 chapters ago, when we saw Dragon, not Crocodile, Dragon, I almost did it again, talking with the real Vegapunk on O'Hara. He was talking about how mad he was that Vegapunk was now going to be working for the world government. So at some point there, Mads was disbanded. So anyway, so some point there, Miss Bakkin must have, I wonder where Miss Bakkin has been for the last 22 years between now and when we see her with Weevil. So what kind of, and now the other question next is, was this Stussy always did she have a devil fruit of her own? Oh, wait, no, there's a few questions here actually to go over. One, Miss Bakkin, probably ship's doctor, let's see, worked for Mads. Why did they choose her to be the first test subject, use her DNA to be a clone, and make Stussy? What made Miss Bakkin want to be willing to do that? Why didn't Judge do that at the time? We know Judge did stuff later with his other kids. All of a sudden, he has 4 siblings? Does I have 3? I know he has a sister and I think 3 brothers. Why did Judge not have this? He wanted to maybe do his own thing later on. It seems like each of them later on, I know it's each of like the other guys, the other people that worked with Vegapunk later on, each did their own thing. Wait a minute. Also, was this last cover page? I want to look at that last cover page. By the way, I didn't really talk about the cover page in the last chapter either. I'll get to that in a second if I remember. Oh, that is showing Egghead Island. I noticed each of the mad scientists that we know branched off, Queen, Judge, and Caesar, all started doing their own thing afterwards. Queen stuck to making diseases. Judge went to do cloning, more cloning stuff, which we know is now Stussy something. And Vegapunk, let's see, Vegapunk does all kinds of stuff. I don't know what his priority stuff would be. And Caesar did the artificial devil fruit stuff. Caesar, what was that? Queen did diseases. Queen did diseases. Judge did clones. Caesar did artificial devil fruit creations. Kind of like cloning stuff in a way, but with devil fruits, not humans. So if I'm thinking Miss Bakkin's just a doctor, so I don't know how much more she could provide if she is just a doctor with that. Maybe she wanted to find a way to... No, I was thinking she wanted to keep everlasting beauty or something like that. So why would she... Yeah, the question I'm trying to postulate and think of a reason why she would be the one to give her DNA to make a clone, which at the end of this chapter, we see they successfully did. First successful. Also, by the way, they say first successful clone. How many failed ones did they I wonder. Anyone remember, have any of you guys seen Alien Resurrection, the 4th movie that came out in like 1997? In there, we see that Ellen Ripley has been cloned like 200 years after the last movie, actually the trilogy. And I think the clone that becomes the main character is like the 8th one, I believe, and the only successful, and in this case, the successful one in there. So she's there, she in that one, Ellen Ripley, she's there, that number 8 is their first successful clone. 8 out of so in that case, how many failed clones could have been of Stussy beforehand? How deformed? If you maybe I wasn't gonna planning on putting any images in this one, but I might have to throw a couple to show what I meant. How they showed deformed Ellen Ripley clones from that movie. Sorry, I'm so out of breath. I need some water. All right, I'll be right back. So next thing, what was the other thing? So how many? No. How many failed clones? So Stussy, no, Miss Bakkin. Sorry, I didn't mean to breathe on the mic. Her devil fruit. Does Miss Bakkin have a devil fruit that we know of? That nobody we don't know of. We don't know. Could this devil fruit be hers? Actually, let me go here again. Doesn't I'm thinking this forever fruit is something Miss Bakkin had, because I'm pretty sure. Well, no. Yeah, I'm thinking this probably would be Miss Bakkin's devil fruit, because didn't they just say that the only way that they can give someone a clone of fruit, at least with the seraphims, and the seraphims are technically the same thing, right? The clones, is they had to use the green blood to do that. So it doesn't look like Stussy has anything like that, right? So that would mean if she has that devil fruit, unless she ate successfully a cloned devil fruit, she probably got that from her originated, the person she was cloned from, if I'm thinking about this right. So Miss Bakkin probably has that model zone fruit of a vampire bat. So I'm thinking that's likely how that goes. Next, where has been Miss Bakkin been in the last 22 years would be my next question. Why is she, I'm guessing that life hasn't been too great and like prosperous for her per se, the way it has been for the other members of MADS, the leading members, because we see that Caesar and Vegapunk both started working for the government. Even Caesar eventually got stopped doing that, and he started working for the underworld. Judge was already a leader of a nation, and he was doing dark stuff too, and he started doing well for himself. And last, Queen started working for a pirate as well. So yeah, so they all did really well for themselves, one way or the other. But now Miss Bakkin has gone with, got herself has her son. We still gotta get to that, and she is out to find Whitebeard's supposed fortune, because he was one of the great pirates and supposedly would have, she should have supposedly a great fortune sitting somewhere. I very much doubt he has much left over, because it probably was used to help people's, like his original island home, and I bet other territories are like that is other islands he protected. He probably used that money to help other places like that, to keep them from like falling under, so they would not have to resort to like having bad pirates protect them, or using it to bolster their own defenses, so that other bad pirates wouldn't go there and attack them while Whitebeard and any of his other allies weren't around. So I very much doubt there's much money left over that Whitebeard, that Miss Bakkin could find. Okay, so I'm going to get quickly to Weevil. I really don't think Weevil is her son. I was rewatching that episode earlier here, and the way, I'm watching the subbed version, by the way, and the way she says something to Weevil in this episode, this is episode 752. She says something here that it's like, let me find it. Right here. And blah, blah, blah. Self-proclaimed lover. Oh yeah, you know what? Looking at this, I bet I know why Miss Bakkin is looking for money. And looking at how Stussy is, her clone, it makes sense. She probably just spent it all. She probably just lived a very lavish life and needs more money. Let's see, right here. So she sits here. She shows Weevil a picture of Whitebeard. And hold on here. The thing that makes me suspicious now, I want to review it right. She shows him a picture in episode 752. Miss Bakkin shows a picture of Whitebeard to Weevil and says to him, "You look so much like him. There's no way you're not his son." Which is like, so you're not sure. Like, were you that promiscuous? There's two things. This is the second one I'm saying now. That you're so promiscuous that you don't know he's the father? Do we need to get you on one of those shows? Was that Jerry Springer show? Did you a DNA test and make you out the truth? And the second thing is, the first thing that I thought is that she did know an Edward Newgate. She knew Whitebeard. She was with him on rocks, etc., etc. And she sees this guy. Ooh, she sees the resemblance here, and is saying, "Oh, he has to be Edward's son. I'll use him and pretend I'm his mother because I knew Edward. I knew Whitebeard, and we'll find his fortune. He must have had a fortune. He did great for himself once our rocks, the crew we were on, broke up." So this line here just makes me, so as soon as I saw this line as I was rewatching this episode this morning, I was like, nope, I don't think, I am 99% sure she's not his real mother. She probably found him somewhere. Maybe this kid's already orphaned somehow. And that's why she's like, "Oh, I'm your mother. We got separated years ago. I'm so sorry. I've been searching for you for years. I'm so glad you're okay. By the way, your dad's Whitebeard, one of the greatest pirates ever. Let's go find his money." Actually, then the other thing that made this made me think of this, the irony is, so I rewatched the Addams Family movies recently, the ones from the 1990s, and in there the main villain is this woman named what's her name again? Hold on a second here. I got it here. Mrs. Craven. There's this villain in here named Mrs. Craven, and she's some kind of she's loaned money to this accountant or whatever his name is, named Mrs. Alford, and he works for the Addams in here, and he helps with their finances, and he owes this woman Craven a lot of money, and so spoilers for the ending of the Addams Family. This first one, the 1991 one. She has a son in here named what's his name in here? What do we call him? Wait, come on. Gordon. She has a son in here named Gordon, and who's just like this big hulking, not huge as Weevil, is big guy, big strong guy. Spoilers one more time. It's actually Fester in this case. She lied to Gordon. In this case, she lied to Fester all the time. This time, they've been together for 25 years. She found him, and Fester got amnesia. Fester is Gomez Adams' brother, so Fester Adams has amnesia. This woman named Craven found him and has been raising him like her son all this time. And now in this plot line, much like what's happening in One Piece, with this guy, this Alford, is that his name again? Alford. Shit, I keep getting these names mixed up. Sorry. Yeah, Alford's help, because he knows about the Addams and Miss Fester missing. They plan on stealing the Addams family's fortune by having Gordon, at this point, Gordon, because he doesn't remember that he's Fester Adams, posing as Fester, because they have him shave his head, dress up the way Fester used to, because I think Mr. Alford has like a picture, and he pretends to be in there so that Gomez will warm up to him, and figure out where this Adams family that has a vault somewhere underneath their home. Pure, almost one-to-one kind of stuff. Almost, well, we don't know Whitebeard has a vault or fortune hidden anywhere. But Craven in here, Mrs. Craven, is much like Miss Bakkin. She's out to get money. She's got a fake son. And she has him posing as a relative to someone who's got a lot of money. So as soon as I was rewatching this, the other One Piece episode today, I was like, holy shit, it's just like what's going on in Adam's family. And like I said, the only evidence I got right now is how Miss Bakkin says that in the subtitled Japanese version, you look so much like his son, you must be. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on the relationship there. I think it's not a real mother-son relationship. She's just manipulating him, much like Miss Craven, if you watch this movie, and the Addams Family is doing to Fester Addams. She manipulates him as he starts getting along again with his family, Fester, and not doing his job to find the way into the vault. She starts getting increasingly manipulative and like making him feel sorry that he's not doing his job. And there's I can't think of the way to explain that manipulative style. There's probably a terminology for it, but it's bullshit, and she pulls it off on him repeatedly. And Miss Bakkin kind of does a similar stuff in there. So that's that bit. And also, lastly, I guess to in the last chapter, there was a cover page I didn't go over, and it was about a part where it showed, I think, Queen, Judge, and Caesar working on weapons together. It showed, I think that's Queen holding potions or chemicals in their jars. Caesar looks like he was holding some early version of probably of a fake devil fruit, and Judge is holding some kind of machine in his hand, and he's mixing, or maybe he's pouring something over, maybe over like a fancy cauldron thing, and they're doing something together there. And the cover page says they're producing deadly weapons. So maybe this was early on where now the Queen got his ideas to eventually make the kind of diseases we saw him use in Wano. So that was interesting. Also, a little bit of note, does Miss Bakkin, I wonder, have any regrets about having this clone made of her? Is she upset about this at all? Does she care that this thing was made? All that kind of stuff. I gotta go over them. I'll have to make a follow-up on that. I gotta follow up more like what Miss Stussy did. I think when Stussy was first shown, I guess, in the Whole Cake arc. It's been years since I read that arc. I watched a bit of it about 18 months ago, but I was in the process of moving at the time, and I didn't really watch the Tea Party bit of it enough, so I'm not sure. So that's the other question too. What has Stussy been doing all this time where she's got herself into a job where she was helping with the CP0? I think I'll make a video on this stuff once I find out more about her. So I'm just going to end the video on that today, and thanks for watching.